In this video, we are going to be looking at the Spark basics of filtering empty or non-empty arrays in data frames. So we are specifically talking about the context in which we have a column that has arrays in it, and we would like to filter the data frame where they either have empty arrays or they have non-empty arrays or more elements. So I'm going to be adding this to the SQL Basics series because right now I don't have a Spark Basics series, but eventually it will be added to that as well. So we'll look at how to do that. So let us imagine that we have a data frame, and in our data frame we have 5 values, and in those 5 values we have person ID and we have various pets listed. My brain right now is being driven crazy because dog is listed last in these arrays, but we see that there are arrays that there's 2 elements in the first one, 3 elements in the last one. We see there's a blank element in the third one. We see there's 1 element in the fourth one, and then we see the equivalent of a null value in the 5th one. So let's suppose that we wanted to filter the data frame where we want to return everything that has 1 or more elements. Keep in mind that we would apply this same logic if we wanted to return, let's say, 2 or more, or 3 or more, which in this case there's only 1 3 or more. There's also 2 2 or mores if we look at this. So we see what we can do here, and the first part of the top here is the object-oriented approach. If you're using Python or Scala, it's going to be very similar to this. I think this comes from Scala directly, not Python, but we can display the table where we do a filter, size, pets, so we're getting the size of that array where it's greater than or equal to 1. So we're going to return where that array has at least 1 element or more. Now, some of you are going to point out, well, there's a blank one here. Yes, but that's still an element. That's a blank element, but it's still an element, whereas the other is a null, as we'll see in a second. And then, of course, if you're using SQL, you can do it this way, where we're using the cardinality function. We're using the cardinality pets greater than or equal to 1. Now, let's suppose we wanted to find the blank element, and this is the array that is null. Right? What we would do is we would filter again the same way, and this time we would set it equal to 0. We can see the SQL and the Scala in this case are different. So going back to this example, if we wanted to return, let's say, 3 or more, we could do 3 or more, and we would get back person ID 2. So this can be very useful if you have any arrays in a column and you want to filter on those arrays by the number of elements, or if you want to get the blank arrays. This can be very useful.